Hi everybody. This is going to be a reading on what how people perceive your tarot readings, how they feel about it afterwards, how it helps them, like stuff like that. Um, if you don't do tarot for other people, this might not apply to you. I mean, it could apply to you in like how your psychic abilities affect other people if you have some sort of business with it. This is generally just like how your intuitive business affects other people and how successful it is. The piles are gonna be this broken moonstone pendulum. As pile one, second pile is this malachite with a nice little divot in it. That's pile two. And the third one is this labradorite worry stone for pile three. Okay. So pile one, if you chose this moonstone, this is gonna be a reading. Spirit angels, ancestors allow me to get in touch with pile one and their energies. How do they affect other people through their tarot consciously? How do people feel listening to their tarot readings? What effect do these people have on others? And what influence they have with their intuitive power? Spirit, at a general rate, how successful are my pile one's intuitive readings? I got the Chariot. So let's just say your readings are in divine order. They happen at the exact divine time they're meant to happen. You might not have as huge of a following as you want, or you might not feel like you're getting the audience you want, but trust me, it's all coming in divine timing. Like something you made 2 weeks ago might be meant for someone 3 years from now, but it's going to align perfectly for them. And what I'm seeing with this Chariot is you tap into people's energies in a way that aligns them with their true path and is making them focus on their true path. I just saw 222 on the clock. Which is really, I feel like, what your intention is. But some of you might be worried you're not doing that. Trust me, you are. Even if it takes time for it to manifest in physical realm, your intentions behind your readings have all been true, and they're bringing not only this balance to your life and your business, but you're helping other people take on that energy of just being aware of their karmic cycles and where they are at right now in their karmic cycles. Also, I'm hearing you're very honest. People feel like you're very honest. You're not afraid to sugarcoat things. You don't separate light from dark. You tell it how it is, and that's really important because sometimes when readers like to just sugarcoat things, they make it sound a lot better than it really is, which can be sort of unhelpful for a situation going forward. Like everything isn't always easy and people aren't always doing the right thing. And you're not afraid to say in your tarot readings when somebody's being like giving it to the karmic cycles, you're not afraid to give advice and be like, hey, I'm not you, but this is probably not a good idea for you going forward because of this. Let's see. Spirit, how does my pile ones on what level do my pile ones connect with their audience? You make the audience that you have really think. However, your sense of expression when it comes to tarot reading is, people really have to sit back and just like watch what you're doing. Like it makes them sort of like, I mean, sometimes people just listen to it in the background and then they're only getting the small pieces they need to hear because they're busy doing other things or thinking about other things, and their subconscious picks up the little things. But for some other occasions, people kind of just have to sit back and watch you and sort of like fall back into this almost meditative mindset that you just sort of bring out of people. I don't know if you know that, but you make people stop acting foolish and stop acting all like carefree. You sort of make them sit back and think about your words and what you're saying and the importance of it. You also are the type of reader to like point out. You're also the type of reader to like point out when somebody's overthinking something. Like you tend to pick up on the really overwhelming overthinking energies really acutely, because of your style of channeling, and because it's like something you don't realize you're doing, and you're sort of talking yourself in a circle with this Eight of Swords. Like the way you talk through a reading, um, sort of plants all these swords all around you. You're like this and this and this and this and this, and then it all sort of comes together, because then you realize you're trapped by all the own words you just said and you just explained and channeled, and you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Because you're overthinking all of this, now you're trapped in this, and it helps you really. People feel like you really get down to the roots of the problem, or the details that maybe they were oblivious to themselves. You ask for a tarot reading from someone when you aren't sure, yourself, because if you were sure yourself, you would need one. So people feel really like reassured in the way that they know that you're speaking the truth. When you, channel their energy, they feel reassured because they like are actually getting the clarity they need about the situation and why they feel unsure about it, or why they feel like they need more information about it. So I'm hearing for you in particular, Pile One, you don't channeling for you isn't just like a fun thing or like an uplifting thing. It's actually kind of more of a serious thing. You're not afraid to delve into more serious issues. Spirit, give me some more info on how my readers perceive their tarot readers. How my audience for Pile One perceives their tarot readers. So you might have a lot of readers in your audience, actually. A lot of your audience are also psychic, clairvoyant, and some of them tarot readers. Yep, Ace of Pentacles. I'm hearing specifically, people get inspired by tarot readings and makes them want to do tarot readings. I'm not saying you make it look easy, because tarot reading, channeling, that shit is definitely not easy. But when people see you channeling, there's something about the way you interpret the cards in such a like understandable manner. Like people feel like they really understand what you mean when you connect different ideas from different cards. It kind of makes them be like, hey, I could have done that, or like I could have made that connection, or like that makes sense. Or maybe some of them are instead like, oh, I would have made this connection to this card. And it sort of puts people in this mindset where they're like, I kind of want to do this. I kind of want to like get into this clairvoyant stuff, the spiritual stuff. I'm hearing for some of you, you have readers watching you who don't have as high of a following as you do. And some of them are jealous. Fuck that. Everyone's on their own level. But for some of them, when you're channeling, you help them see where exactly they feel like they're lacking, where exactly they feel like they're worrying about their routine too much. And for some reason, the way you do readings in such a chill and like open, honest, like just openly channeling manner, it helps people feel like they can just it's almost like you give pointers in the way that you channel. Like you give pointers on how to not feel this lack of abundance within your work, and find just the strength and abundance within yourself at all moments. So I'm seeing that you do, although your like readings tend to be more serious, you have a way of really gassing people up in a deeper manner that really touches them on a soul level. Like you really see people for who they truly are. People feel like you see them for who they truly are, dark sides, good and bad. I feel like you don't have any judgment. And instead of like having judgment, you're more like a guiding light, like a teacher, mentor, helping them out of this like feeling of lack, this feeling of being alone with this Three of Cups. Sometimes people feel alone when they feel like they're alone in their feelings aren't being seen. But I'm hearing in particular, your readings help people who have been shunned for their beliefs, who have been maybe mentally and emotionally like hurt by other people, traumatized by other people, sometimes even physically or worse. You also help people who tend not to believe in themselves, or like who haven't gotten karmic justice and they're just sitting there in the dark and they're in doubt about their own feelings and their own beliefs about how the situation went. You are quick to shed light and be like, no, this wasn't your fault. I'm hearing Pal One, your channel might be for the underdogs or to help the underdogs, because you have a soft spot for people who get trapped in these situations or go through a lot of emotional pain, and stuff like that. People also feel like you're a really emotionally wise person, like the things you say. You know what you're saying without even thinking about it. It sort of just comes out of you, and people are like, how did you know that? Because it's always cool in a tarot reading when a reader like points out a specific detail about your situation, and he's like, that might have been for some of you, and you're like, whoa, that was a detail about my situation. Yeah, people tend to be pretty amazed when you like whatever you shed the light on in the reading. You almost make fun out of it. Like, it is a serious thing to you, and you're not gonna like be downplaying it, but you sort of make it a fun thing. You don't make it so bad, or you sort of help people see the light in their situation with your readings, and people come out of that feeling this playful Two of Pentacles energy. With this information you so freely shared them, now they can change in a way that they might have not felt like they could have before. So I'm hearing a lot of over and over again, you just change people in ways where they thought they couldn't be changed. Or you make people believe in themselves where they didn't believe in themselves before. I just saw 12 on the clock. Okay, one more card for my Pile One on how their tarot readings are for other people. Knight of Wands reversed. So I feel like this is really important because Knight of Wands is in and out energy. Like being, I just heard firefly, like flickering on and off, like sort of being there and being not there. But you're the opposite of that energy. You're the opposite of that. So the things you say stay ever present in a person's subconscious. Like it's like a seed planted in their subconscious, because the things you say are really important, really deep. They strike on a deep subconscious level. Subconscious remembers everything, and for some reason the things you channel for people tend to be really important and really accurate. But you're definitely not impulsive with the things you say. People feel like the things you say are really thought out and are really going to help them in the future. Not only that, but when you're channeling, it might seem like you don't really know what you're talking about in the moment, but then it all sort of comes together full circle without you really even meaning it to or realize it. So maybe some people like click off of your videos really fast because they didn't feel like you resonated. But if they would have watched the reading all the way through, they would have like, that's when they would have felt your energy, because your energy is more thorough throughout the whole cycle. It's like bringing the whole journey together instead of just pulling messages moment to moment, if that makes sense. Okay, we're gonna move on to pile 2, this beautiful stacked malachite with a cute little divot in it. Okay, pile 2. Can I meet your angels, ancestors, spirit guides? Can I meet your highest vibration, highest good? Anything who's not a divine light no longer welcome here. Okay, pile 2. How do your readings come across to other people? How do people see your readings? How do people receive your readings? I just heard at the best time, like people receive your readings right at the exact time that they needed them. They were like, maybe trying to manifest it a little bit before, being sort of smug about it, trying to let it come to them. But just when they got to the brink of like, I need this information, I don't know what I'm gonna do, that's when you like come in and you're like, I got you. Okay, so conflicts that are very sudden and tend to rip people out of their daily routine, you are there for them in that. You are there to support them in that with your readings. Because when the cards fell out, I heard too fast, too soon, like they came out of thin air. Like we have Five of Wands and we have King of Swords in reverse. King of Swords telling me people who aren't stable within their lives or don't really have their own individuality going on or their own destiny they're following, if that makes sense, and instead spend their time channeling all the energy they have from all the experiences they learn from into conflict with other people. Now, with this King of Swords reverse, specifically, this might be like Mother Foggy figure. This might be someone from the past who is tormenting you. Or tormenting these people, that's what I meant. Like you may have a lot of people in your audience who have gotten hurt a lot in the past or received these conflicts without it being really fair for them. Like you have to shed light on these conflicts where maybe people were abusing their power or abusing the information they had or using or even lying about things that made your audience feel sort of conflicted with themselves or feel like they weren't on their right destiny path. But I'm seeing that your readers, I feel like you're really protective. Like maybe it's the quality of your voice or the way you talk. Maybe it's how firm you are with your beliefs and foundations and your readings and your channelings. But people feel like you're willing to fight for them. Like with the things you say in their readings, you're like, I just heard those are fighting words. Like you are not, you get angry for these people. You get upset that they had to go through these things and you're like, I would fight for them. I would do it. And that's how they feel. They feel like the divine justice you're bringing in is fighting for them, is on their side, is advocating for them against all these other unnecessary forces. So you make people feel less alone, especially in situations where they didn't have any control over how the other person treated them or how the situation treated them. I'm hearing you get a lot of audience who is treated unfairly by their work or by their bosses or by a corporation. And I'm also hearing for some of you that your audience might have a little bit of a lack of direction in life. Not that they don't want to take their own direction, but they tend to doubt their truest like self, their truest desires. And so you might end up doing a lot of readings about trying to get someone to go after their true desires or trying to get someone to see how much they're passionately wanting a change in their life. Or maybe you inspire that exact change in people's life of like, this is my destiny, like making people actually believe that. And do something with it once they like, hear the information you have to give them. They feel like all of their past foundations were shaken. They feel like you see that their life isn't just a walk in the park. And I think that's because you, my pal, too, your life isn't a walk in the park either. And doing tarot readings helps you a lot with like coping with that lack of emotional expression. You never really got to express yourself emotionally in some ways. And doing these tarot readings and helping other people emotionally express themselves in ways they can't is really helping you karmically and helping you with your inner child and your shadow work. Also, people, you are oh my God, with the way you're so firm about the things you say, you help people let go of these toxic relationships. You are quick to shed the light on toxic stuff and quick to block out any energies who wish to muddy that up and make it seem a little bit better, seem a little bit okay, or seem a little less toxic. No, you are quick to block that all out and be like, no, this bad, this bad, this bad, this bad. This is just out of pocket. You deserve way better than this. Who the fuck does this person think they are? Think they can treat you like that? And then the opposite end of that, maybe you're not someone who does that many love readings, but I'm seeing that you help people be more independent. Like, your readings might have a lot more to do with like helping people feel independent within themselves and feel financially stable within themselves, or find that destiny within themselves instead of like seeking for it in another person. And I'm not saying that's what all love readings are doing. Like, love readings are at their best when you're feeling your most individual as a person, and the person you're thinking of is feeling the most individual as a person. Y'all are both just wanting to be in each other's lives. But I'm hearing specifically you shut out codependency in your readings. You shine light on codependency patterns in your audience, and you shine light on people who are codependent towards your audience. Because I'm feeling a lot of your audience are like really nice people, givers. Like, they don't easily realize when someone's taking from them because they love people, you know? And you are quick to be like, this person is using you. These people are using you. These people are talking behind your back. You are not afraid to say that, which has helped so many people realize that the pain they've been going through isn't just nothing. It isn't just in their head. It's real, and it's been happening because the exact things you said. Like, maybe your audience has a lot to do with people who get manipulated into a situation where they didn't, and then now they're a little stuck, or now they're a little oblivious to their situation because of these outside forces manipulating them for whatever reason. Not only do you point out how exactly this person is being manipulated, but you point out how the person who is manipulating them doesn't love them, and why they don't love them, and specifically what they're trying to use that person for, and why they're trying to manipulate them. You give people information they really, really needed to like understand where they were, because it's almost like without this information being shown to them, they would have just been stuck in the situation of like not understanding. Like, there's like with this hangman, he's going through pain, he doesn't know why, he's chilling. But imagine as if your readers have like all of this stuff keeping them in this position, and they can't even see it. They don't even know why they're in this position in the first place. And the people around them are making them doubt that they're even in this position. They're like, what do you mean you're in pain? Like, it makes no sense. You're doing this, this, and this. You have this, this, and this. I'm doing this, this, and this for you. Like, what do you mean? And so your audience may tend to feel like they're in the wrong, but you hate that. You hate that. And so that's why your subconscious, when you're channeling, is quick to pick up on that energy where you're like, something's not right here. This person is keeping you trapped. This person is the one who's not only trying to make you feel like this manipulation isn't real, but specifically trying to make you feel that way so that they can keep manipulating you. That's a weird energy. I felt really hyper specific. This might just be something you've been reading about recently. You've been helping someone out with recently. Let's see. Spirit, what is Pile 2? What effect does Pile 2 have on their readers? I just heard all in good time. Everything that goes around comes back around. So you definitely, you're like, yeah, things aren't going to change fast, but working towards that change that you want is going to help you in the long run when it comes to these issues that you didn't know about before. You also show people how their situation is going to end up in the future, depending on which path they take with that situation, which really helps them feel like they have a choice on whether or not, on what they want really, where maybe a lot of your audience doesn't feel like they get to have a choice with a lot of things, or maybe didn't feel that way before, and now upon watching your videos more and more, they're taking on less of this energy of just like thinking and wondering why this stuff is happening. They're like finally letting go of this Three of Swords, this pain, this painful love that was only hurting them. They're letting go of these ideas about needing a relationship, letting go of these people who only cause them conflict and pain. And instead, now they're working on something they truly believe in, whether it's themselves, whether it's a creative passion or project, whether it's something they wanted to do but never could have done in the situations they were stuck in. I'm hearing for you, pal, too, you clear out the bad. You clear out what isn't necessary, what is no longer for people's highest good, and you shine light on the path that will take people to where they want to go. Okay. So that is your reading, pile 2. I'm going to move on to pile 3 now. Pile 3, my labradorite. I can call your dorm room bright from my labradorite. I know you don't think I'm the right one, but all of these energies light, and I'm just trying to get like one, get like one. I feel like this is supposed to be reversed. Okay. Pile 3. I'm hearing your love readings are so accurate. You get people's emotions down to the T. Like if you're the type of channel that writes letters or channeled letters, like full on pages for their person, every single sentence, every detail is accurate. I don't know how you do it, but you have an acute ability to tap into people's emotional romantic energy and people's mutuality. Like you're really good at tapping into how two people are mirroring each other, and then where they are not mirroring each other, like where they're being the opposite, and where that creates a balance and where that creates a sort of conflict. And by pointing out all those different factors, you really help people understand the ins and outs of the relationship that they didn't, that maybe they didn't have clarity on before. Maybe they really wanted to know a specific thing. I'm hearing most of your audience isn't that spiritual, I guess you could say. Like they wouldn't be the type to pick up some tarot cards and just like talk to spirit, but they do like things like love readings or like what makes you attractive readings. Like I'm hearing for this pal, you have a lot bigger of an audience than you think you do. Because this is the type of audience that like doesn't want to subscribe, doesn't want to make their presence known, but they keep coming back to you. They keep coming back to you because they're vibrationally aligned with whatever you have to say. And there's this general energy with this High Priestess in reverse. There's this general energy of your readers not knowing. So whether it's about this romantic situation, maybe it's about a third-party romantic situation, whatever it is, you shine light on whatever people like aren't intuitively knowing or aren't intuitively seeing. Because I see you as this High Priestess upright, who sees all without really having to open their eyes, if that makes sense. Spirit, give me some more cards on how my pile 3 go. We have the Hermit and the Two of Pentacles in reversed. So I think it's funny that this Two of Pentacles is contrasted with this Two of Cups. So you're definitely serious when it comes to love readings. You point out why exactly conflict happened between them and their person. You point out why exactly them and their person want to still be together, and you point out where exactly them and their person are feeling pain because of each other and because of the separation from each other. Now, this doesn't always make people happy. A lot of people, you might get a lot more hate than other people do on your tarot readings or on your lives, where people are like, you don't know what you're talking about. You sold your soul to the devil. You are spreading misinformation. You're not even a real tarot reader, things like that, because people tend to get triggered by how accurate the things you say are, because you point out people's deception and the fact that sometimes people are manipulative and they aren't there for your audience's highest good. And not everybody is happy to hear that. Not everybody is ready to hear that. Especially since when it comes to you, Power 3, you tend to shine light on some pretty deep connections. I'm hearing twin flame, soulmate, karmic type connections. Let's see. Hermit. This is a really good energy to give your audiences as a tarot reader, because as a tarot reader, you're having to go into hermit mode and look within to channel this energy of them. And it's almost like they're taking your hermit energy and just completely letting it in, completely receiving it. And it's almost like the advice you give people in your readings and the things you point out and being like, okay, this is what you're going to need. This is what you're going to need help on. People actually listen to you. They actually look within and they're like, okay, it actually changes their day-to-day routine, their day-to-day ritual. Not only that, but you help people see the divine light within. With the hermit, like maybe you, with your readings, you see people in a way that is particularly different or unique. So people have never seen themselves that way before. People have never perceived themselves the way you perceive them. And it sort of makes them feel different about who they are as a person. Because they feel intuitively that your words are true and honest, but maybe they don't always see themselves that way. Maybe they're indecisive on whether or not they should believe your words, because they have their own ideas of how they want their situation to go going on. But your readings are always accurate. You're always telling the truth, and people who don't listen to you tend to get into this Ten of Swords energy where they get stabbed in the back. But people who do listen to you very narrowly avoid this Ten of Swords energy. And I'm also hearing that your readings bring in the spirit guides, bring in the ancestors, because you get right into the details and you make people aware of things they weren't aware of before, that maybe even their angels, ancestors, spirit guides weren't as aware of as you are aware of them. And the things you're saying as you're saying them, the angels, ancestors, spirit are like writing this down. They're like, oh yeah, no, this makes sense. And they're like, I'm gonna need this going forward for my client, my munchkin, my person I'm looking after as an angel. I don't know. But I'm hearing, yeah, okay. You, my pile 3, I just saw 3 on the clock, have opened people up to their spirit team. You have made people believe in their spirit team, or maybe they didn't believe in it before. You have literally introduced people to their spirit team, and it has completely changed everything. They like talk to their spirit team so much more now. It's crazy. And then for others of you, I'm hearing that you introduced people to their lifelong connection, their lifelong partnership, and the connection that's going to affect them for the rest of their lives. You, Pile 3, are helping counterparts and karmics and soulmates get through the toxicities of their relationship and what's blocking them from the relationship. You really get down to the nitty-gritty when it comes to those details, because you want to help those people. You want those people to have this happiness and not be... You don't like when people are blocked from loving each other because of toxic behaviors or toxic patterns or toxic beliefs, which can happen a lot when it comes to relationships. But you know your audience. You know your audience deserves better, and you know how much your audience loves their person. or loves themselves alternatively for your audience who doesn't have like a person they're looking for. And with this judgment card, you not only make people feel this mutuality and love with themselves and their own light and dark sides, but you make people stop being playful, stop not taking their love life serious, stop not taking their life seriously. You make them actually sit back and be like, if you love yourself like this, if you care about yourself as much as I'm saying you do, then are you going to do this? Are you going to treat this like a game? And you actually make people feel like where before they felt like they did know and they were like all in control of the situation or whatever, you make people feel like they're not in control of their situation. They're not in control. And then for others, they just don't have to be in control of their situation. The audience tends to be like, they want to have control over how the outcome is going to go, or how their situation is going to go, how their life is going to go. They need that feeling of control. And you are helping so many people karmically with being okay with letting go of that, with finding control and not having control and not knowing. You teach people how to learn. You teach people how to like sit back and be a student and learn, and that they don't always know what's right. Which is also why I feel like you've introduced people to their spirit team, because you made people have to stop relying only on themselves and have to like look out for who else is looking out for them, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's people beyond the veil. And this spirit team for your audience has helped your audience so much with their materialism, with their ties to the 3D world, and has also helped your audience cut off these bad, negative people in their life who were not for their highest good, not bringing them abundance. So basically, it's like for your audience, it feels like your readings are so small, but in the long run, you've helped them get out of a toxic relationship that would have ruined their life. You help them get in touch with their spirit team, which has completely helped them transform and make them feel more sure and confident about themselves. You've helped them be more serious about their outlook on who they are and who they want to be. Now, I'm getting a lot of throat chakra vibes here. Like, your words are so powerful, pile 3. And they affect people in the long run. Like, people don't see in the moment how much your words have touched them, but later on they might look back and be like, that reading really adds up right now. Or like, that reading, imagine if I had never seen that reading. I wonder where I would be now. But let's see. Let's pull one more card, because I'm about to hit the 40-minute mark, and channeling is fucking exhausting for me. Spirit, how do my pile 3s give off their readings? Yeah, again with this Page of Cups reversed and this 2 of Wands. So you point out people's untapped desires. Maybe something they've always been planning or always have wanted to do, or someone they've always wanted to be with, but they always doubted themselves. Maybe they were shunned for it. Maybe they tried to come forward with their emotions and were knocked back the fuck down. Or maybe they tried to go for this creative project and people didn't support their ideas. You help people believe in that. You help people believe in themselves even when nobody else believes in them, or even they doubt themselves with it. You're like, no, you can take this thing that you've always wanted to do and always wanted to be and start, like, it's almost like you tell people to stop wanting others to see it so bad or wanting others to understand it so bad, and instead don't tell everybody. Keep it a secret, keep it hidden, and instead just plan it on your own. You show people how to, like, not give their energy to everybody, how to use what they know to their advantage in a situation, especially when it comes to business and financial stuff or romantic situations. Like, you tell people to take a step back and don't reveal everything that they know. Um, and it's ended up giving them the advantage, like a huge advantage actually, because I don't know why I just heard like, I don't know why I just got a vision of like somebody was just sitting back, like they weren't even doing anything. They were just sitting back and observing. And the person across from them who they were meeting, like, is suddenly getting all nervous and feeling like they're the ones who have to compensate. And they're like, oh, okay, so what's this? What's this? Like, they're actually talking, they're actually saying, you know, what they were too afraid to say before, because maybe your audience is the type to be the runner, to be the chaser, to be like asking all the questions. But you've pushed your audience into more this divine feminine energy, this accepting of like, attract, don't chase, you know? And not only just help them financially, business wise, people, maybe not now for your audience, but in the future, some of you now, some in the future, like your audience, people have started approaching them and like just begging them to like be like, please let me sponsor you, please let me support your creative project. Or when it comes to romantic situations, you, my pile threes, you have brought your audience's person on their knees. Like, you have made it to where your audience has gotten so much confidence and gotten so much control over the situation without even doing anything, that they it pretty much goes exactly the way they wanted it to, and their person completely stops trying to get, you know, your audience's person stops trying to take from your audience and instead looks within themselves and like why they feel that lack, why they feel like they need that. So I'm hearing not only do you affect your audience, but you affect everyone around your audience. Like, your words and how they affect other people are far reaching. And they affect way more than the people who just watch your videos. Yeah, way more than the people who just watch your videos. I'm hearing like butterfly effect. Like, for you, Pow, through your words and how they've affected people, have pretty much have or will spread across the entire world at some point.